Hey guys, Furum here, and today Meaty Potato is going to be showing you how to do a 360 in Forza Horizon 4. Or maybe it was an accident because he said oops. In any case, today I'm going to be testing the Porsche Carrera GT in Forza Horizon 4. The awesome purple remake of the Asphalt 9 decal for this car was created by Tangram, and the tune was created by Gazy Jeanette. I hope I pronounced your name right. So let's move on to our first race, which is on Greendale Sprint, one of my favorite tracks in the game, which you'll know if you've watched my Forza videos for a while, and we have a full lobby, so let's see who all is here. We have Tangram in his Carrera, Meaty Potato in his Aston Martin Vantage, Shadow Reaper in his Twin Mill, Ardno in his Ferrari, Enzo, Skipper also in his Carrera, Alex Dig in his Viper 99, Flame in his Carrera also, Speed Demon in his Audi R8, Adam in his Dodge Charger, Carrera GT in his Carrera GT, and Takustado in his McLaren 12C. If these races look fun to you, you can join in if you have Forza Horizon 4. If you'll join the Purple Team Discord, the link is in the description, then go to the Special Roles channel, you can choose the Forza role, and then you'll be notified whenever I make a video about some car in Forza Horizon 4. And recently, we have expanded the Forza role to include all Forza games, so instead of being named Forza Horizon 4, we just renamed it Forza, so whenever I do something in, say, Forza Horizon 3, which I might do, I'll also tag that role. But primarily, it will only be used to make you guys aware of my Forza lobbies, which I record once every other week on average, so you won't be spammed if you have that role. So how is the Carrera GT, you might ask? Well, with the tune I am using now, it is quite good. However, the first tune I tried was one by Naylac28, and I quickly realized it was rear-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive like this tune here. And I had the worst time on the corners. It would just slide and skid all over the place. And Naylac is generally a very good tuner, and I'm sure that tune was really good if you knew how to drive it, but this tune here, being all-wheel drive, I found to be much easier to drive, and I would definitely recommend it if you also want to drive this car in Forza. Unfortunately, it does not look quite like the one in Asphalt 9 because it has this giant spoiler on it, but hey, I guess I would rather have a giant spoiler on my car than not be able to drive it. We're getting close to the end of the race, but Ardno has crept up right on my tail. I only had one turn left, so I knew if I'd be able to hold him off around here, I'd finally be able to beat Ardno completely fair and square. But he was coming up just close behind me, so I kept an eye on where he was on the track, and I went over to the right to stop him from passing me before the end, and I came in first. Unfortunately, as he told me afterwards, I pushed him a bit too hard, and he hit the side. I didn't mean to do that, so my bad, dude. Now we are moving into our second race on Elmston on Sprint. I do not think this is a track that I have featured many times in my videos because I usually do not do amazing at it. But this time it turned out okay. I do feel like I'm getting a little bit better at Forza every time I record one of these races, so maybe in the future I'll be able to beat Ardno just a little bit more. I can guess that's kind of my goal. The great decider on this track for me was always that big turn at the beginning. I was able to get out of it in decent shape. I did go a little bit too wide coming out of it, but it turned out okay, and I was in third position going around these next turns. But I would still say probably one of my biggest weaknesses in Forza is knowing just how much and when to brake when going around turns, and on that one I didn't do it quite right and got passed by Carrera GT and Meaty Potato. Now I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I changed my horn a long time ago to be the Hall of the Mountain King, which is probably one of the most recognizable classic pieces of all time, and if you don't recognize the name, look up the song and you'll probably have heard it before. Classical music isn't really my thing, but occasionally there's one that just stands out like that one. I mostly like EDM, but also 80s music and like 2010-ish pop music, and there's one thing all those have in common. They all have some sort of electronic elements to them, and that's just always been my favorite type of music, regardless of what else it might be. It could be rap, it could be more rock-oriented, but if it's got some kind of like techno vibe to it, I'm probably gonna like it. But you know what I don't like? Pay-to-win events, like the current Asphalt 9 event about the Mazzanti is, and I posted a video about that yesterday if you'd like to check it out, but I did make a little mistake in there. I misnamed the Murcielago as the Gallardo because, to be completely honest, they look very similar to me and I must not have been paying attention. But in any case, that's still 2 Legend Pass cars that you have to own to have a chance even to get a car that is no better than the Fenner or Inferno or the Zenvo. It's basically like all those combined. Pretty fun to drive, honestly quite good overall, but just nothing standing out and no king anywhere, and so very forgettable. Which is kinda how I feel about this Carrera. Yes, it's a very good car, quite fun to drive, but it's not a king, and it's not the fastest thing, it's not the fastest accelerating thing, but there's nothing really about it that is just terrible. And so while I certainly had fun driving it, it was pretty pleasant actually. It's just not one that I'm likely to come back to. Now something I did come back to is third place in this race. Almost coming into second, not quite, getting beat by Carrera GT at the end, and as we fly into, I guess that's the ocean out there, we get third place. And now on to our final race in the video, which is on Cotswolds Super Sprint, and this turned out to be quite a close one. And this is interesting, we had quite the turnover in the cars that people were using. Alex Dig is in the Cigaris, Adam is in the 2020 Ford GT500, which I have tested on my channel, go check that out. Skipper's in his Griffith, Tecustido is still in his 12C, Carrera is still in his Carrera, Ardno is now in the Carrera also, Shadow Reaper is in the Audi R8, Flame is in the Volkswagen Golf GTI, Meaty Potatoes in the 488 GTB, and Tangram's in the Carrera. And we've gotten slightly ahead of most of the pack except for Ardno. So now it's time for my general review about this car. It's definitely one of the more fun cars to drive that I have tested recently with this tune, not with Nailak's tune. I'm sorry Nailak, but it just wasn't it on this one. But the top speed was sufficient, the acceleration was pretty good. I was going to say something about nitro, but this car doesn't have any of that. It seemed to have sufficient speed for any track I threw at it, and most importantly, at least to me, with Geza Junet's tune, it did not skid around the turns. No, check that. Most importantly to me, it was purple, and again, an awesome livery made by Tangram, a metallic purple version of the decal from Asphalt 9. Here I have a bit of a battle with Skipper as he passes me on the inside, but then goes a bit too wide, and then I pass him on the inside, and we're back to how we were before. I see he's driving the TVR Griffith. That would be quite the interesting car to test in Forza and see if it's anything like its Asphalt 9 counterpart in that being fast and not handling or drifting very well. I don't know, it seems like in Forza many of the cars are somewhat similar to their Asphalt 9 versions, but not completely, and I feel like that one would be more different than most. So we are coming up toward the end of the race with Tecustido and Shadow Reaper pretty much right on my tail. We've only got 2 big turns left, but these were 2 of the 90-degree ones, and I think I did them fairly well, although Tecustido nearly passed me at the very end here. But thankfully, my car's acceleration was good enough, and I was able to keep the speed ahead of him all the way to the finish line. Let me know down in the comments if you have any suggestions for other cars I could test in Forza. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!